Hey guys, and welcome back for another content of Ragnarok M Classic. And in this video, we are going to talk about a class that is underrated in terms of popularity, but it is very strong, the Trapper Ranger. But in this version of mine, I will be going to give you a guide for a budget type Trapper Ranger just like mine. Our channel is now officially affiliated with Joytify. Joytify is a 100% safe global top-up platform where players can quickly and secure top-up their favorite games such as Ragnarok M Classic, Dragon Nest M Classic, Crystal of Atlan, and Hoyoverse titles. To get here, just click the link that I have provided on my description or the comment section. Search the game that you want to top up, select the product item that you want to purchase, enter the quantity, choose the payment method, and then enter the account details from here. For the new users in Joytify, you can type NEWYU1 to get up to 90% discount. And for all users, you can type LGT15 to get a discount for up to 200 pesos. After that, complete the payment process by clicking the buy now. That's easy, and you will get the product that you have purchased instantly after the payment is complete. So what are you waiting for? You can support my channel by clicking the link on my description and on the comment section for the referrals. With Joytify, you get fast, secure, and affordable top-ups that you can trust. Play without worries with Joytify. Looking at my current Zenny, I have more than 200M as of the moment. I am still not spending it to upgrade my Trapper Ranger because I think this is not my type of playstyle. For sure, it's just a really fun build to try and good for bursting down targets. But I have something in mind that I wanna build a class, and I will wait for its master skill tree. If you are wondering what class that I have been waiting for its master skill tree, it is the Sorcerer. Sorcerer has been really good now with the MS2, but I personally don't like its playstyle. The rumor about the MS3 being the upgraded elemental summon is kind of fun in my opinion, because those high elemental summons can do AoE damage. That is why I am still saving up these Zennies. Moving on, just a quick note again, this is a budget build for trappers. This guide will give you a fair amount of DPS as well as bursting down some players in GVG. So without further ado, let's start with the stat allocation. The very important stats are the int and dex only, as these stats are the formula for the trap's damage multiplier. In my case, I put luck stat because of the spell crit headwear, the Wheel of Fortune. You will need a luck stat if you are using spell crit cards or headwears. Take note of this. You can see it here on the damage calculation. There is dex, base level, and then int, except for the landmine that added P attack plus refine attack to the damage formula, which I think doesn't really give a great boost. So what more attributes can greatly boost the trap's damage except for dex and int? Well, you still need ignore P-def, right? Ignore physical defense. While the trap's damage is magic damage, as you can see here, it still considers physical defense, so we should pump up the ignore P-def rather than the ignore M-def. Next one is the M damage increase, because it is magic damage, obviously. M-pen for the magic penetration, skill damage, and then wind, fire, earth, water, and dark element damage. Next up, we go to our skill allocation. I am just going to point out the most important skills for this build. On the archery branch is the Owl's Eye for the dex stat, and Ankle Snare. Ankle Snare may not deal damage, but it is good for rooting players in GVG. On the Hunter branch, max out the trap skills, Frost Trap and Claymore Trap. Then the Detonator, which is also important for the damage boost if we will use the MS2 Cluster Blast. Improve concentration for the dex stat, as well as luck if you have magic crit gears. And then Lightning Arrow to reveal hidden enemies and traps within 8 meters. On the Sniper branch, max the True Sight for +5 to all stats. Windwalk for the movement speed, and the recent buff that can flee physical single target skill and normal attack with 30% chance. Then the Landmine and Trap Research for +10 int, as well as increasing traps damage and limit. On the Ranger branch, get the Warg Rider for additional movement speed, and you can just set traps while mounting on your Warg, which is really nice. Exceed Break, which greatly increases your dex and int stat. Electric Shock Trap, Nature's Protection for the defensive attribute, Instrument Expert for another boost for our traps, as well as reducing the SP consumption. Then the trap minefield, where you can deploy 6 random element traps at once. Now on my master skill, as what I've said on the video that this will be a budget trapper ranger, we will not be maxing out this one. For the active skill, you can just leave it to level 3. This is a good DPS trap, but it is very expensive to level up, so level 3 is okay. Because the most important skill to max out is the trap minefield, where you can deploy another 5 elemental traps when using the deep blind trap. So this is just the same as the ranger skill, trap minefield, but you can deploy only 2 sets. With the addition of MS2 trap minefield passive, you can deploy another 2 sets, so that will be 4 sets times 6 traps each. That will be a total of 20 elemental traps placed. Now get the level 1 hiding blind spot. This will make you invisible when you are near the deep blind trap. And then the full detonation. This is important to level up, but this is really optional to max out. If you get this to level 1, you will gain the cluster blast skill, which is very important skill to use for the MS2 ranger. What this does is to detonate all traps in the target area and receive the detonator buff. What this means is you will gain the full detonator's additional bonus damage increase, which is 80%, and increases the explosion radius of all traps. So wherever you place the traps on the current map, you can still detonate it to a targeted area. And the skill range of the cluster blast is really long, which is somewhat broken in my opinion. Now, I've said that it is optional to level or max this skill because it only boosts the trap's damage when it is triggered by the enemy, not by your full detonation, in which we will mostly use the cluster blast for every PvP and PvE scenario. So in my opinion, you can just leave this to level 1, or if you want, you can go up to level 5 only. Now for the gears. For the offhand, you can just use the Adventure Master offhand. If you have saved enough, go for the Rosa Bracelet star. And the card is the Wicked Sunflower star. This card is somewhat expensive, but it is really worth for boosting your trap's damage. For the armor is the Stardust Robe star. If you can, just go directly buy the plus 12 because it is very cheap for only 74M Zenny, unlike other class that can go up to 100M higher. And for the card is the Moonak star for the Ignore Death. For the garment, you can just literally use the Adventure Master garment with the Ignore Death stat on it. Ancient Cape will be really good if you have plus 12 and up because of the skill damage increase when refined above plus 8. For the card, I have the Zanubia, but you can just use the Mayfair Lens for the additional damage to MVP and Mini. Then for the shoes, you can just use the Adventure Master boots with a plus 3 int and dex. Another option will be the Crystal Pump star for the plus 12 int. And for the card, I have the Swordsman Senya for the skill damage, but you can just use the Fallen Bishop for PvP. Then for the accessories are the 2 pieces of Luna Brooch. If you can buy plus 12 already, it is much better. It only costs 64M each. Then for the card is the Moonlight Tendrillion. The weapon is the Luna Bow. For this one, you can just buy the plus 10 because it has no good addition when refining to plus 12. Only when you get it to plus 15, which is somewhat expensive. And for the cards, you can just use the Freoni Star, Advancing Mistletoe, or the Drake Star. And you can use the racial cards like Hydra. Then for the headwear is the Wheel of Fortune. This is very important because of the spell crit it gives. If you don't have this on your server, you can just go for the White Knight Helm. And for the card is the Clock Tower Manager Star for the int and magic damage. The best in slot would be the Belcranel. For the facewear is the Dragon Scale Stripe. Try to refine it as high as you can for the bonus int and dex. For the mouthwear, you can go for the Grandpa Beard, but if you have Whisper of Love on your server, go for it. For the backwear is the Broken Sanction if you have, or some skill damage like Round Face Tony, or just for additional M damage like the Never Changing Dream. Then for the tail is the Sea Soul's Tail for the element damage, or the Legacy of the Dragon Red Tail. For the AC runes, here's the list that you need to activate. Then the rest is up to you. For the Blessing of Goddess, prioritize the M-Pen, Ignore Death, and Damage to Demi-Human. Then follow up the attack and refine attack. On your element tab, balance your wind, earth, fire, water, and dark damage. So just a small tip that I noticed, you can burst down MVPs but not mini bosses. It is kind of weird, but I think the mini bosses have this damage received threshold that you cannot burst them down that easily, unlike MVP that doesn't have. Check this for example. Even if we use the full traps deployed, it still cannot one-shot a Vagabond Wolf. Unlike this one, the Detarderos, you can just easily one-shot it. If you're attacking mini bosses, better just auto-deploy traps on them, just like this. Select one element trap that is counter to mini boss, and one deep line trap. Also, as you can see here, the frost trap has the lowest cast delay among all traps, so this is good for mini boss hunting. And that is all I can share for my Budget Trapper Ranger build. If I have missed something, just comment down below. If you find this video helpful, then please leave a like. Also subscribe to support my channel. As always, thank you for watching, stay safe and have an awesome day. Lights out.